there, Justine here. We are starting a new series, part of Tea with Justine, called Positivity with Justine, to help you get through frustrating, stressful, annoying, and or sometimes sad situations with a positive attitude. Because we all know that positivity goes a long way and can totally change the course of your day, the course of your life. I thought we'd start with one that many of my fellow Angelenos and others in big cities can relate to. That is traffic and driving related situations. So let's start with traffic. Everybody complains about the traffic in LA. I mean, it's true. Traffic can definitely keep friends living in different parts of town from seeing each other more than they would love to. My friends in the valley, for example, sadly, I do only see them maybe once a year. They're not even technically that far from me, but it can take a long time to get to them. Plus, who wants to go to the valley? Just kidding. And while we do all complain about traffic because, let's just face it, it is a part of our everyday lives, I feel like it's the people who aren't native Angelenos who really have a hard time dealing with traffic. And it really saddens me when people don't like LA because of the traffic. Like, I feel like when you let traffic ruin your enjoyment and your love for LA, you're missing out on a whole lot of wonderful. You want to complain about traffic? Go to Moscow or Paris. The difference between LA and those cities, though, is that they all have working metro systems, whereas we don't, so we are forced to drive a lot more. But seriously, try driving through Moscow in rush hour. Like, no wonder they drink so much vodka. So I'm gonna help give you tips to get through LA traffic and other frustrating driving situations so that you come out more positively. And because we could all use a few less angry drivers on the road, because your safety is most important. And also, road rage is ugly, it's scary. I'm sure it causes a plethora of health issues. Unless you're French, and apparently road rage is not road rage in France, it's just being French, according to my husband. The basics. Okay, you're stuck on the 405 or the 110 or the 101 or whatever other highway or major street, you're just stuck in traffic, bumper to bumper, moving really slow like turtles. What do? Think of it as a time to work on your vocal cords. Practice your favorite karaoke song so that you can win the next karaoke competition. When I was Zumba certified, I would actually choreograph a lot of my dances in the car. I'd just play the song on repeat and kind of run through the moves in my head, get inspired by the music. And oftentimes by the time I got to work, I'd come up with a whole routine. And then when I'd get home from work, I'd just work it out. So you can totally make use of that time spent sitting in your car. If you don't want to practice becoming America's Next Idol or get hired for Shakira's next tour, you can always think of it as a time to catch up on phone calls, either work-related or I have a lot of friends in other places, so I use that time to call them and catch up with them. Traffic does not have to be so horrible. We just complain about it too much and think so negatively about it, we make it worse than it really is. There are more important things in life. Alright, so let's talk about other driving situations. Something that really bugs me is when people change lanes without using their turn signal. I mean, especially when they're doing it really fast or in dangerous situations. It's so infuriating. Like, I yell at them every time, but I try to stop myself. I try to matrize my anger like my husband tells me to. And I turn up Selena. Yes, it always helps me. Get a little bitty bitty bum bum or como la flor. Trust me, it really helps. Selena doesn't work for you, try someone else. I promise you, music makes all the difference. Okay, so I spend a lot of time driving through and in Beverly Hills, and I'm sure this happens a lot outside of Beverly Hills, but I'm going to use Beverly Hills as the example. So as most people know, in Beverly Hills, there are a lot of people with a lot of money, And a lot of people with a lot of money have a lot of expensive cars. And for some reason, these people with their $100,000 cars feel like they are entitled to the road when they drive their cars. And they drive like they own the road and nobody else matters. Traffic rules don't apply to them. They can be rude. They cannot say thank you for letting them cut in front of you. It can be really obnoxious and really infuriating as well. So, what I like to practice is a little compassion, maybe mixed with a little bit of pity. And I just say, bless your heart. I'm so sorry that you have to live being an asshole in life. And that's it. Just be happy that you are not that asshole because you're a much nicer, happier, positive person. Okay, so something that also kind of frustrates me a little bit is not so much with drivers, but pedestrians. When a pedestrian takes his or her sweet ass time across the crosswalk, and especially the ones who are only staring at their phones and not looking around. I admit, I sometimes am on my phone while I'm crossing, but I'm always looking up regularly and looking around, making sure I'm not in the way or I'm not gonna get hit by a car, especially when I step off the curb. You gotta be careful of that one because sometimes you don't know if the person turning right is paying attention to pedestrians. They're only paying attention to cars. Or, even more frustrating actually, is jaywalkers. Jaywalkers who take their sweet ass time and don't even say thank you. Whew, that one drives me nuts. So I just take a breath and then I say, oh, I'm so sorry that you did not have a mother or father who taught you manners and consideration. That is just so sad. Again, a little compassion mixed with a little pity. I don't know if that's right or not, but it helps me, so I hope it helps you, and you keep your energy positive. One thing that we are all prone to doing, and yet we are all prone to getting frustrated when other people do it, is when we're a little lost, or we're uncertain of our destination, or looking for parking, we kind of slow down. Some people are worse at it than others. Some people really just have no clue that there are other people around them. Again, have a little patience, take a breath, and just know that you are sometimes that person, so chillax. Last one is elderly people. Now, there are some elderly drivers who maybe should not be driving anymore, and I mostly fear for their safety. So that's one thing that keeps it positive instead of me getting angry at them, because it's just not cool to get angry at old people. So this is what I tell myself. My grandma used to do a lot of school runs for us and drove us around, actually all over the state, on road trips, to singing lessons, to dance classes, to soccer practices. And she was a very able driver at that time. But it doesn't matter. What I think about when I see an elderly driver kind of taking their time, sometimes they're not always fully in their own lane. You can just tell when it's an elderly person. I just think, oh, maybe that grandma or grandpa is just trying to go have dinner with their grandchild. Again, it's having compassion that helps with the patience. So, those are my tips on staying positive while you're driving, whether it's through traffic or dealing with frustrating, annoying situations. I hope they help you. Let me know if you try any of them out. I definitely want to hear your feedback. If all else fails, then I just say, thank you, God, for this chance to learn a little patience, for this test in patience that I so need help with, because I am a really impatient person. So, yes, thank you, God, for this time to learn patience. It's all about gratitude, y'all. If you have other situations you would like tips on, let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you have any tips of your own, leave them in the comments as well. I want to hear what you all do to stay positive in traffic situations. And stay tuned. for more positive tips through other frustrating, annoying, stressful, and or sometimes sad situations, because we're gonna all get through this positively. Alright, subscribe to our channel so we can keep the good vibes flowing, and also stay tuned for more adventures as we discover the world through tea together. And also now, as we spread good vibes together through tea. Thank you for tuning in, and remember to follow us on all your favorite social media platforms, and we will see you all next time. Toodles!